Okay, and we're live. Let me check. Vapen instruments, coffee. Dog has food, water. Doesn't need to go out. Okay, we're all set to go. Let me be ready to share my screen. We're going to start. Yes, we're going to start with this. Okay, we're going to be talking about the news of the week, the news that happened in Geekdom. So one of the big news this week was the Solo Star Wars box office drop. It was really big. Even CNN is saying so, that it was really big drop, which is huge because Star Wars is a big franchise, as we all geeks know, something that was really beloved by most of us. Uh, Sadly, maybe it wasn't as SJW as we all thought. I had a couple of people that saw it, do kind of a review, and tell me why they didn't think it was such a SJW movie. But uh, Kathleen Kennedy chose to promote it like that, and well, this is the results. Okay, this is the result, because they wanted to promote it as a Suck Just movie. This is what happens. Not the first time. It's not going to be the last time, unless Hollywood learns its lesson. Okay? Social justice doesn't sell, because SJWs don't go to the movies, and the fans will not go to see a movie that wants to preach to them, that wants to lecture them, that wants to hit them in the head with an ideology. So this is what happens. Now, take it with a grain of salt, because okay, no. This is about salt. Now, take it with a grain of salt, because it's come from Movie Web, so I don't know how accurate this is. Even if they are saying it's from CNBC, but according to Movie Web, Disney stock, Disney shares fell 1%. Okay, we may not think this is huge, but if you were a shareholder, you would think that you're losing a lot of money. And this may be a bit of good news. Okay, because if this is true, and Marvel not only took a loss in the movie, but their shares fell, well, maybe they will pay attention. Maybe they will wake up, because they are not really ideologues. They are about getting money. And sadly and stupidly, they had been conned into thinking that social justice sells when it doesn't. So this may be a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We may see some movement in Disney. They may wake up and they may pay attention to what fans had been saying all along. It could even be good news for Marvel Comics. Who knows? Because they have been on the gutter for over a year, and we don't see really any intention to change. So this is about Star Wars. Now, next. Sadly, we have this. So Francesca Ramsey in Marvel's Voices. Who's Francesca Ramsey? Well, she's a woman that even if she's married with a white guy, okay, but here's the thing: she had a show in MTV, and she kept preaching that all whites are racist, all men are sexist, you know. So I don't think this was a smart move by Marvel. Some people was saying that she was hired. I think she was in an interview only, but I may be wrong, because I'm not about to listen to 40 minutes of a podcast. Okay. She watched. They were going to talk about the tradition of Francesca's watching X-Men with her dad, intersectional feminism, and her journey as a comedian. Who told her she's a comedian? Who? She's an activist, and a bad one. A video blogger, yes, and a writer. I don't know, but if she writes her own scripts, she's not a good writer. Very well. So Francesca with Marvel's Voices, and come on, Marvel, you need to stop getting woke, because you're going broke. But they aren't. Not soon, anyway. The paper Shogun says that they are 100% committed to the diversity. Marvel is the world outside your window, and we want not only our characters, but our creative talent to reflect that world, and it hasn't been an easy road, to be honest with you. Bullshit. CB knows, because he knows that there has been diverse characters going back to the 60s, 70s, maybe even more if we don't, if we step outside of Marvel. But speaking just as Marvel, 60s, 70s, we already had black characters, we already had female characters, we already had Asian characters, we already had Latino characters. So, bullshit. As for the diversity in the staff, who cares? Hire the best person for the job. Your diversity hires land you the racist Gaby Rivera, who doesn't, quien ni siquiera habla español, dice que es puertorriqueña, pero ni siquiera habla español. She says she's Puerto Rican, but she doesn't even speak Spanish. And she's a racist, and she's a sexist. And she was hired because she's brown, and she's Latina, and she's a lesbian. And she was hired to write what Marvel wanted to sell to us as a Latino lesbian character, America. But just so happens that America, it's not Latina, because she's from a dimension where there's not America, there's not the continent, there's not Europe, there's not that continent. So she can't be Latina. Okay? The only reason they are saying she's Latina is because she's brown. A bit racist, if you ask me, but whatever. Now, CBS News also talked with Sana Amanat, and the people who's writing this piece of crap. But doesn't say. Come on, it has to say. It has to say who wrote it. No, really? You're not going to tell me who wrote this piece of shit? Okay. So they are not going to tell us who wrote this piece of shit. Well, whoever wrote it. Oh, Michelle Miller. Very well. Michelle Miller knows shit about comics. Or if she knows anything, she's peddling bullshit. Okay? Because listen to this. Okay? Da-da-da-da-da. One of the people in charge of making Marvel more inclusive is a code word for kicking out straight people and men and white people. Okay? So, is Vice President of Content and Character Development, Sana Amanat. She created Kamala Khan, Marvel's first Muslim superhero. Fuck you. That's a lie. Dusk. Dusk. Marvel. Images. No, that's not. Dust. This is Marvel's first Muslim superhero. Not Kamala Khan. This. And nobody ever wants to remember that she is Marvel's first Muslim superhero. Dust. Very well. Where was I? Oh, yes, CBS. So they are selling bullshit right there. Okay, now we continue. People paid attention because there's something about the idea of Kamala Khan, and it has nothing to do with being Muslim or South Asian or whatever. People paid attention because it was badly written, and because no girl wants to be her. I don't know who thought the concept, but okay, very well. She is also credited with bringing author Ta-Nehisi Coates. Okay, when you let one social justice warrior into your business, they are going to bring another, and then 2, 4, and then 8, and then 16. And before you know it, you're going to be up to your ears in social justice warriors, and you're not going to be able to fulfill your organization's goals, because they are going to make it all about their ideology. Okay. Ta-Nehisi Coates, who wrote such great books that got cancelled before issue 6. Okay. Who made Black Panther and Storm black separatists, if not black supremacists. And now he's writing Captain America. Great. Because we need a racist writing Captain America. Ah, Marvel, what are you doing now? Let's step outside of comics and let's talk about Warhammer 40k. This isn't from last week, but since this is the first this week in Geekdom, I thought it was something we had to talk about. This is the Warhammer Adventures. This is books aimed for young readers about the Warhammer 40k universe. I really don't have any problem with this existing, but I fear this is a signal and they are going to end up making the main books more and more and more like this, appealing to who knows who, to a market that they don't know if it exists, while kicking out and kicking to the curb the people that has been putting food on the developers' tables for many, many years. That's my fear. I hope it doesn't happen because even if I'm not really a 40k player, I read the books, but I don't play it because it's way too expensive to buy the miniatures. But I have read the books, some of them, and I like them. And I know that a lot of geeks love this game. And I'm afraid that they are going to start seeing more and more bullshit pushing them out of the hobby. Okay, now we need to talk about Frau Nita Shekelsian. Who's Frau Nita Shekelsian? You may ask. This woman is Frau Nita Shekelsian. She was heralded as a great person in video games, and Kotaku was talking great about her and defending her and saying that no. We were all pushing conspiracy theories because, of course, she was a gamer. Of course, she knows what she's talking about. And she only wants video games to be better or better or whatever she wanted. But let's see if that's true. I'm going to show you a oh, no. I remember, you can't hear this. Very well. The video is in the description. In this 43 seconds video,
one person has seen it. It's a soundtrack of one song, except I'm doing video games, so it's not exactly a fandom.
Yeah, around 11, around the 11 seconds mark, start listening, and she tells to the people that are listening to her lecture here that she's not a gamer. She never was. So it was always bullshit. Now, this woman conned a lot of people out of money. Right now has a crowdfunding campaign. She's asking for $50,000, something like that. And she's going to use it to create a Discord server and to have a video conference with one school. Oh my God. And people give her money. Yes, Daddy, and they infiltrate everything, push their ideology, and push geeks outside. And when the business starts dropping, oh, don't blame us. Don't blame diversity. No. No, we're not blaming diversity. We're blaming you. Kids like this. Let's change it. Yes, exactly. When I was around 12, yes, I think that when I was around 12 years old, My uncle Felipe, rest in peace, he had the 12 books, the 12 Conan books, the Ace? Yes, Ace. The Ace novels, 12 books. And those books weren't supposed to be for kids, for teens my age back then. And exactly that's why I wanted to read them. So whenever I went to stay with my grandfather, my uncle lived there still. He was only 10 years older than me. And there were the only two people in the apartment, so my grandfather and my uncle. And I used to sneak into his room when he wasn't there, when he went to work, and grab one of his Conan books and read it. I read really, really, really fast, so he didn't. No, he found out, but I was around book 10 by then. So what these people don't understand is that as long as it's not really something really pornographic or really, really, really explicit, like 40K, I wouldn't give my 6, 10, 12 years old a 40K book. Maybe, I don't know, around 14, 16, maybe. But of course, everyone knows what to do with their children, okay? But if the kids like Superman, you don't need to make it stupider. You need to keep it like it is because they like it like it is. And these people are stupid, so they not really. They tell you that they want to change it because it's for kids. Let's make it more friendly. Let's make it so it appeals more people. That's a lie. That's bullshit. What they want is control. What they want is to kick the fans out, to get control, and to do whatever they want. It's a power trip, among other things, pushing their ideology and extorting money from the companies. But it's a power trip for them. It's not about making it safer for the kids or think of the children or think of the women or the gays or whatever. It's a power trip. That's all it is. So this con artist, is going to be talking at GenCon. Okay, she's not the only SJW there. I already made a video about this. Okay. I already made a video about this. This guy is either an SJW or a fedora tipping yes ma'am, yes my lady. Idiot. Tanya de Paz is a SJW. Like I said, I already made a video. It's where's my channel? No. Come on, where's my channel? It's GenCon is dead. Long live the OSR. You can go watch it to see why I say these people are SJWs. Back when I did that video, the only non-SJW was this man, Jordan Wiseman. All of the rest, moderators, blah, 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 SJWs. And she, of course. Now, we have a problem for a long time now of SJWs pushing the tabletop is racist, tabletop is sexist, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Just you type tabletop racism and you find lots and lots and lots, okay? Tabletop sexism and lots and lots and lots. Going back, I don't know, 10 years, maybe more. Okay? Now, how can be a role-playing game sexist or racist? I find it really, really hard to believe because you can make it whatever you want it to be. You don't need. You don't have to follow the rules as they are. And I don't remember any rule that says you can't have a black character that's not a slave or a woman that's not in the kitchen. But even if the rule were there, you can ignore it. You can make your own. We gamers know this. Normies don't, and these assholes peddle their bullshit because normies don't know. Okay? So, we have that. We have the pseudo academic articles. Sexism in tabletop RPGs. There's none. Okay? And we have this woman now injecting herself, thanks, most likely, thanks to Luke Crane and to Tanya De Paz and to Nolan T. Jones and Nicole Lindrus and Jason Morningstar. Okay? Because one calls the others. So now we have her. We have her at GenCon as an industry guest of honor. So if you buy a ticket, you're putting money in her pocket and in the pocket of all of these JWs. Okay? So don't go. Boycott GenCon. GenCon is dead. Now, this woman doesn't play any tabletop RPG. This is from February 10th this year. Playing my first ever D&D campaign, and maybe being a druid was not the best first time class option, but at least my nails match my dice. Oh yes, because we all know that female D&D gamers are very worried that their nail polish matches their dice. Fuck me. Now, okay, follow me. That's not all. That's not even the worst part. Okay? Let me take you down the rabbit hole. Ah, coffee. Okay. Fraunita Shekelsian next says, right here, for those asking, we're playing 5th edition D&D, but completely risking to be a science fiction world. So my druid, instead of talking to animals, for example, talks to tech. I'm more of a hacker character. Now, you could use the druid class to turn it into something else. But what GM would still call it a druid class? You will change the name. So if your character can talk to tech, it's not a druid. It's not a hacker. Okay? It's a tech. What was the name? Like an empath, but with technology, like a telepath. I don't remember right now the word, but are you with me? Okay, of course you could do that. Okay, you could still call it a druid. No skin of my teeth, but we have to recognize that she's still talking shit. She wasn't playing and she's not playing anything. She is doing this to gain cred. Okay? That's what she wants. She's searching for cred. Okay? She's not talking, she's not telling the truth. She's trying to get cred. Okay? And here come the male feminists. Oh, my wife and daughter are inspired and may follow in your footsteps here. Fuck you, that doesn't happen ever. And if it does, run. Run. If your wife wants to follow on Anita's footsteps, you run as fast as you can. Okay? And another gamer feminist, I guess. OMG, what brand of polish is that? Come on. Come on. Aren't you supposed to be feminist? Isn't that traditional female signaling, blah, blah, blah? Fucking hypocrites. They can't even stay in character. Come on. Okay? And a bunch of stupids here. Not reinforcing any stereotype there. Yes. 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 Now, my good friend, Weaponized Nerd Rage, made a video talking about this, and he tells us that he's heard that there are female staffers in D&D resisting this woman, angry that this woman is going there, angry that this woman is going to start talking shit about them, about their work. Okay? Now, in that video, he also says that there's no misogyny in D&D because there's a lot of women in the illustrations, and the women don't have big boobs and blah, blah, blah. Who fucking cares? I love you, man, but you're missing the point here, okay? This is called the Overton window. This is why you don't give them an inch, because they are pushing the Overton window. The Overton window is what is acceptable in a point in time on society. Okay? What's inside the Overton window is considered normal, regular. Okay? What's outside is considered unacceptable, radical, unthinkable. Okay? And this goes in both ways. It goes towards more freedom or towards less freedom. Okay? It all depends where the people pushing the Overton window are pushing it. And the SJWs always push towards less freedom. Always, 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 always. So, if a developer, if an artist wants women in his comic, in his game, in his book, in his art, wherever, wants women that look like this, that are wearing chainmail bikini armor. For those of you who don't know, this is Red Sonja. She is from Robert E. Howard's books. She appeared with Conan in some books. She had her own adventures too. She's had comics. She's had statues. She's had a movie, a really bad movie, But anyway, she had a movie. And she's been drawn always like this. Always. Always has been drawn like this. Now, where was it? Okay, yes. Dynamite is publishing currently legendary Red Sonja. And in that book is a steampunk book or clockwork. No, I think it's steampunk book. Steampunk. She looks like this. Okay? In that book, she looks like this. Like this. So, not chainmail bikini, but still sexy, still showing some skin. Okay? And if some writer and artist took Red Sonja and made her in the space, for instance, in a spaceship, well, in a spaceship, it may not make much sense to be that naked. So he does it, and he does it in a different way. I have no problem because it's a different setting. It's not the same as doing Red Sonja in the Ivorian age and trying to make her look like this. Oh, it's more realistic. Yes, I don't read Red Sonja for realism. It's fantasy. That's why we read those books. That's why we play those games. Okay, so they start by making the boobs smaller by saying, oh, why do you need her to show so much skin? They are Puritans. Okay, look, they are pushing for this. Every single character needs to be showing no skin. Next, they are going for the burqa. Okay. Oh, and they need to be fat too, because no woman ever looked like that in real life. Okay. So the Overton window. Remember the Overton window. Never, ever give them an inch, because then they take a mile. The moment we agree that any of their criticisms, that having women that look like this in your books is sexism, is misogyny, is somehow hurting women in the real world, all of that is bullshit. Okay? We don't want women that look like this because we hate women. We want women that look like this because we love women. And even other women like to look at this. And not only the lesbians. Okay? So, don't give them. It's not reasonable what they are asking for. It's not reasonable, their criticism. What they are talking is bullshit. And we have to push back against it. There's no reason to think that having women not showing skin is a good thing. And it's not a bad thing if you want to make it like that. But if you're making it like that because these people are telling you, because these assholes, these con artists, these liars, these bullshitters are telling you that if you have women that look like this in your game, in your books, in your comic books, then you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're blah, blah, blah. Don't give them an inch. Okay? Don't. Ever. Never. Again, if you as the developer, as the artist, as the writer, want to make a book, and your female characters are going to be dressed from head to toe because it's the way you are making the world, because you want a more realistic setting, fine, do it like that. It's your choice. But if you're allowing them to convince you to change from this to this, you already lost, because they are going to push and push and push and move the Overton window more and more towards less freedom, always towards less freedom. As the Overton window moves, what was once the usual, the everyday stuff, if it stays in place, but not the label we used to refer to that stuff. So this is normal. It's nothing out of the ordinary, okay? But they push and push and push. So what was here as policy, let's see if we, yes, very well. What was here, it was policy. As they push, it moves because they are pushing this way, okay? So what was policy becomes only popular. They keep pushing. What was popular becomes sensible. They keep pushing, becomes only acceptable. They keep pushing, it becomes radical. They keep pushing, and it becomes unthinkable. And it's the same thing. The thing didn't change. What changed was the perception of the people about that thing. Okay? And it works the other way around too. If we push, as we have been pushing towards more freedom, what is right now policy, that you have to lose your job if you don't vote for a certain candidate. If we keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, it will become only popular, then only sensible, then only acceptable, then radical, and then unthinkable. Okay? The moment that you agree that they have any the arguments they make to tell you that it should be look like this, what you designed to look like this should look like this, and you say, okay, yes, your arguments have some validity. In that moment, the Overton window already moved, and what was policy is starting. The Overton window is sleeping, 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 sleeping. Okay. This is for political points of view. This is for social stuff. Okay. There was a time, I'm old enough to remember, there was a time when a couple of gays holding hands. I'm not talking anything worse than that. Okay. A couple of gays holding hands in public. Oh my God. You would have seen the people talking and watching, and maybe someone even screaming. Right now, you can see them kissing in the park, and nobody blinks. And if there's someone that really thinks that that is unacceptable, doesn't say anything, because that's policy. It's normal. It's something from every day. We don't blink an eye. Okay? So never, ever give them an inch. Never. Because the moment you give them an inch, the Overton window moves. And it moves against you, against your best interests in the future. So don't give them an inch. Now, let's finish this with a kind of a good news. Okay, this is kind of a good news. This is from One Angry Gamer. It's a great site. You may want to go there. Follow them in Twitter because they do good job. So I didn't understand in the title, and I click it because I thought they were going SJW on me. So maybe it's because English is not my first language that I don't understand what the article is saying in the title. But when you read it, okay, when you read it, they say that even though feminists, SJWs, blah, 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 have been pushing to get rid of women that look like this in all our media, they have been pushing to get rid of this. Why? Well, because it makes us more sexist, it makes us more accepting of rape, of female rape. So another study came out, okay? When it's a study made by women. And what does that study says? Well, the study says, like we have been saying all along, that what the SJWs are saying is bullshit. So, again, friends, guys, gals, don't give them an inch. They have no reason. They have no science. All they have is they are Puritans. Okay? They may not be Christians. They may be atheists. Like myself, I'm an atheist. But they are Puritans. They don't want women to express their sexuality as they please. And they are also stupid people that can distinguish between fantasy and reality. And it doesn't matter how many studies come out saying video games don't cause sexism, video games don't cause violence. It doesn't matter how many studies we have in our favor because we allow them to move the Overton window. Okay? Pretty soon, if we keep allowing them to move the Overton window, pretty soon, even talking about doing a study like this will be unthinkable. Don't give them an inch. Make them go broke. Remember, get woke, go broke. Also remember, there are places where we can make our own and we should be making our own. Okay? This past week, a lot of indie, really, really indie creators started getting more notice. That makes me happy because we need more competition. We need more competition. We need the small guy competing with the big ones for the same market, for the same money, so that the big ones can look at the little guy and say, okay, why did he get so much money? What did he get so much love from the consumers? Why? And if they are smart, they will make that question, really? And they will look for the answer. If they are stupid, they will say, oh, yes. Outright Nazis. Unacceptable. Ban them all. Send them to the gulag. So, we can't let them change our stuff. We can't let these people move the overtone window to make this unacceptable and this the only thing that we could have. I don't mind if someone wants to make this. I mind when they tell me I can't have this. Because if I want this, it means that I hate women. Okay? I don't. You don't. Liking this kind of stuff doesn't make you hate, it means you hate women. It means quite the opposite. It means that you like women. Oh, but then you don't respect them. Really? This is a drawing. Do you know what the difference is between fantasy and reality? If you don't, you need to go check yourself into a padded room. Quickly, before you hurt someone or yourself. Okay, I have been taking along a lot of your time. I'm about ready to wrap it up. Darien, thank you for dropping by. I don't see anybody else, but anybody else that was watching or that comes watch later, thank you for coming. If you like the content, please share it, like it, subscribe. And remember, don't go gently into the night. Rage against the machine. See you all soon. Goodbye.